#1 in Central California. This is ABC 30 Action News, live at 6.
Racket, noise, things falling. It just makes you want to run. I just saw all the devastation.
How much more can they take? Ridgecrest, Trona, and their neighboring communities picking up the pieces again after a 7.1 magnitude earthquake hit just one day after a 6.4 shaker on July 4th. But their peace of mind may be shattered more than any building.
One of the moments of the greatest stress that I've ever had in my life. It was traumatic.
The powerful quake shook across Southern California, but was felt as far north as Sacramento and as far south as Mexico, with the Central Valley rattled in the middle. The already earthquake-weary town of Ridgecrest now dealing with power outages, road closures, and fires. The 7.1 magnitude earthquake was centered 11 miles from Ridgecrest and lasted about 10 seconds longer than the one on the 4th of July. Seismologists say they've now measured more than 2,500 aftershocks since last night. Residents in and around Ridgecrest were already trying to recover from the previous quake and now face even more damage to their homes, businesses, and their sense of safety.
I really actually don't even want to leave my house because I don't know what's going to happen.
A Central Valley woman who moved to Ridgecrest several years ago isn't getting much sleep with the constant worry of more aftershocks. Action News anchor Corey James has been in Ridgecrest since the first shaker on Thursday and is seeing the damage firsthand. He spoke with Kristen Burrs about the frightening experience of 2 strong quakes that rocked her community. Corey?
It also rocked this convenience store too, Margot. It's hard to believe now. You may remember last night this store was covered with bottles and wine all over the floor. They've since, over the last couple of hours, have started doing some cleanup efforts and gotten most of it clean. You see this guy over here. He has a mop in his hand. He's been working along with many others. But whether it was a business or a home, those inside were scared of the second earthquake to hit in just 2 days.
It was really scary.
Those words describe the feeling, but this video tells the story. The moment a powerful 7.1 magnitude earthquake rocked the city of Ridgecrest Friday night.
It got worse and things started falling.
That is when Kristen Burrs grabbed her 12-year-old son Grant and frantically hid under this coffee table in the middle of their living room.
We just held on, and it lasted what seemed like forever.
Doing that left her with these scars and scrapes on her knees, but the concern about her husband and oldest son, both seen running for their lives in this clip, distracted her from the pain.
We were just praying.
And George Burrs was also relying on faith while desperately searching for cover.
It wasn't just running to run. It was like where to run to, because everything was shaking.
Now the family who moved to Ridgecrest 6 years ago from Fresno is planning to move again in just a matter of days, this time to Seattle.
We've just got to go. Who knows if there's going to be a bigger one.
A sudden change that still worries Kristen because she is afraid to leave her loved ones behind.
I am terrified that I'm leaving my parents and I'm leaving my friends, and what I have no idea is going to happen. And I don't want to, I don't know.
Yeah, hard to hear there. Now, Ridgecrest was not the only community affected by this earthquake. Trona, which is about 30 minutes away, was also impacted by the 7.1 earthquake that hit last night. Coming up on Action News at 6:10, I'll show you some of the devastating areas in that community and show you how residents are trying to overcome what they experience. We're live at Ridgecrest. Corey James, ABC 30 Action News.
Corey, it has to be frustrating for homeowners and businesses. It seems like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Just when they recover from one earthquake, they see more damage from another earthquake. It's got to be wearing on them, especially that convenience store that you're in now where they have to repeatedly clean up.
No, absolutely. It's almost as if they can't catch a break. I mean, this particular convenience store that we're in, we were here on Thursday when they were cleaning up, trying to get things ready to open up on Friday. Of course, it was the 4th of July, but they were hoping to recover then. And then they had that earthquake that then hit last night, causing quite the mess. They've since got a lot of things done, got lots of the mess that was left behind moved from some of the aisles. They've had family members who have come in from out of town, but as you can imagine, getting hit one after the other, and there still are concerns of another earthquake could potentially come. Margot?
Corey, thank you. And the good news, again, no fatalities reported so far in and around Ridgecrest. Thank you, Corey. Seismologists have measured hundreds of aftershocks that have been at least a magnitude of 3.0 or higher. Ruben Contreras is in the Storm Warn 30 Center now tracking those tonight. Ruben?
And Margaret, we were just talking about the number of aftershocks we've seen in the past couple hours, past 12 to 16 hours in the matter of a short time after that 7.1. We can see that here on Storm Warn 30. The yellow ones are in the past 12 hours. The red are in the past hour. So it could actually go back to the 10 days here, but I had to narrow it down so we could actually pinpoint a few areas here, especially along Highway 178 here. If within the past hour, there has been a 3.0 aftershock from this system here. That magnitude is about 5 miles underground, so a little deep. You kind of feel that rolling when it is that deep underground here. And of course, this was a fairly severe earthquake here. All this information here is from the USGS here. Usually in California, we see 17 earthquakes between 4.0 and 5.0 in about a year. And of course, the 4 earthquake of this system was a 6.4. So that's a strong system right there. There's only about 120 per year around the world here. And then we had that 7.1 last night. Usually one a month occurs around the world, and that just happened to be in California last night. So what's the chance of seeing a bigger earthquake than that 7.1? There's actually a 3-point chance of seeing a greater earthquake in the next couple days or so. So only time will tell if that will happen here. We'll talk more about this in a couple minutes, but first for now, Margo, back to you.
Ruben, thanks for breaking down those numbers. New tonight, Governor Gavin Newsom got a first-hand look at the damage in Ridgecrest today and said he spoke to President Trump, who pledged his support. The governor also activated the state's Office of Emergency Services to its highest level after declaring a state of emergency for San Bernardino County. Action News reporter Vanessa Vasconcelos continues our live team coverage with how Valley first responders are answering the call to help our fellow Californians. Vanessa?
Well, Margo, right now we have close to 30 Valley firefighters that are in the Ridgecrest and Trona areas helping with rescue and relief efforts. But this is something that they've done before. We've seen them out at the Montecito mudslides, at the Butte County wildfire. And they say even though the damage isn't as widespread as, say, those events, they say that it's the psychological impact that's just as devastating.
It's the time of year synonymous with wildfires, but these first responders and Red Cross volunteers are deploying to Southern California for earthquake relief. Within the first 12 hours of their shift, Regional Task Force 5, comprised of Clovis, Fresno, Merced, Tulare, and Fresno County firefighters, is already hard at work.
Homes they're not designed to shake. They're not designed to give like that. A lot of broken water pipes, a lot of gas line problems. So we've just been out here solving those problems for them and helping folks do what we can.
Fresno Fire Battalion Chief Brian Price says their efforts go beyond structural damage.
The impact is the effect on people's psyche, on their ability to be able to come to peace in their homes and trust that they're going to be okay.
While the devastation may not look as widespread as the Montecito mudslides or the Butte County campfires that Regional Task Force 5 has responded to, their presence alone is bringing reassurance to those in the areas that shook hardest.
We met a lot of folks that are sleeping in their backyard because they're afraid to go back inside because of the earthquake and the possibility of if there was to be another one.
Red Cross volunteers deployed when the initial quake hit the Ridgecrest area, setting up shelters and water stations.
We have a really comprehensive safety plan in place. So when we open shelters, we prepare for what could happen in the event of another disaster, another emergency. So I'm glad that the plan worked, and we are ready to take in more families who've been affected.
Tonight, those with the Red Cross are commending the Valley for their support. They've been trying to find out ways that they can help those in Southern California. They say you can do so with financial donations or by volunteering. You can sign up to do that at their website, redcross.org. Reporting live in Northwest Fresno, Vanessa Vasconcelos, ABC 30 Action News.
Thank you, Vanessa. We heard from you last night, moments after the quake literally felt like it rolled across the valley. Several ABC 30 insiders shared these videos with us of their pools turning into mini oceans with waves overflowing in their backyards from the South Valley to the North Valley. At least one of our insiders told us their pool deck cracked after the seconds of shaking. And right now on ABC30.com, more images are coming in at this hour of the destruction in and around Kern County. For a closer look at the damage and now the unfortunate aftermath of burglaries in the quake zone, head to our website or our mobile app. We are your source for coverage of the Ridgecrest earthquake as aftershocks continue. Our team coverage continues in just a few minutes.
One major supply line going in.
Oh my God!
And All these boulders. Oh my goodness.
Those boulders came tumbling down from hillsides to roads near Ridgecrest minutes after last night's earthquake. Video recorded by people in their cars shows the impact of a rock slide that shut down State Route 178 for hours last night. The road has since reopened near the Kern River Canyon. The unnerving quake, you can hear it in that woman's voice, was also felt near Los Angeles County.
It continues
This is a very strong earthquake.
Pretty strong here.
8:21 here on the air. We're experiencing very strong shaking.
Wow.
I think we need to get under the desk.
All right, we're going to go to break. We'll be right back after this. Wow.
The quake hit during that live newscast in Los Angeles as the anchors held on to each other, taking a moment to realize what was happening. Meantime, people in Glendale were left shaken as their household items rocked and rattled. In the San Bernardino County community of Trona, the quake ruptured roads, leaving these massive cracks just outside of a gas station. Business owners and homeowners are surveying the damage inside and out. Bricks came tumbling down from buildings, piling up onto streets. Fire officials say Trona has at least 50 structures with damage. Trona is about 30 minutes from Ridgecrest, where we check back in with Action News anchor Corey James as homeowners try to cope with what last night's earthquake left behind. Corey?
They certainly are, and business owners too. A lot of them are really dealing with this for the second time in just a matter of days. And this market, as we kind of showed you not too long ago, they too are experiencing it. While most of it is clean tonight, if you take a look over here, you can see that some of the damage still remains. It is a good reminder of what happened.
Racing for safety, this new video shows the moments a family inside a Ridgecrest laundromat frantically running out the door during Friday night's jolting earthquake. A little boy inside is even seen picking up a little girl and carrying her in his arms. Seconds later, parts of the ceiling collapse. Another video capturing the emotional cry from a Selma native who experienced the jolt of her life. We spoke with her over the phone about the frightening experience.
That was scary. I never had that before. It was a hard shake.
The damage even took a toll on Highway 178. Parts of the roadway repaired during the day buckled again after the quake. As crews patched the cracks overnight, I was nearby on Facebook Live showcasing their work. That's when a 4.4 magnitude aftershock rattled the ground.
Oh my gosh, it's moving, it's moving, it's moving.
And things are starting to move up in Trona. The small town was in the dark for nearly 8 hours last night, and nearly 50 structures were damaged by the quake. Now power has been restored. The only challenge is no running water.
It was hectic. I mean, everything was moving. The walls were just moving, everything. You know, it's never seen something like that.
But back in Ridgecrest, cleanup efforts are underway at this market for the second time in 3 days.
And I know how much this store means to my dad, so I knew it had such a profound impact on him, and that got me devastated.
However, out-of-town family members are stepping in to help.
And we drive here, try to help. It's gonna be very difficult to start, but two hands better than one hand.
Yeah, very true. And unfortunately, the owner here does not have insurance, earthquake insurance. So as you can imagine, he has taken a pretty big financial hit. We are live here in Ridgecrest. Corey James, ABC 30 Action News.
Great. I was wondering about communications in and around Ridgecrest and Trona. Do the residents have cell service? Are they able to communicate with loved ones and to get updates and alerts if need be?
Folks that we talked to, they say they have been able to communicate with loved ones. The man, Art, that you saw in our story, he actually was able to get his grandkids to come over, which is why he was at the fire station just trying to get additional water donations. The National Guard, as we know, stepped in to help, and they donated water to some of those fire stations in the area. But Trona, it's a very kind of remote area. The reception is not that great. I have AT&T on my personal phone, no service at all. But my work phone, Verizon, I was able to call people and text through that particular provider, but no concerns from folks that we talked to about not being able to get in contact with others. It was mainly just they're glad the power is back on. They're glad to have their AC because it is very hot, triple-digit temperatures. But the unfortunate thing for them is just no water at this time.
It's those little victories that are appreciated at this time. All right, Corey, thank you. Reporting live from Ridgecrest.
Yeah.
Well, we continue to track those aftershocks near that community along with the rising valley heat. Ruben's next with the forecast.
The good news, our heat won't last for very long. Details another the cool down next. And we continue to track those aftershocks down in the deserts of Southern California this evening here. This is our earthquake tracker from Storm Warning 30. The yellow you see right here, those are earthquakes in the past 12 hours or so. The red ones are in the past hour. It has the capability of going back to 10 days or so, but then this map would just be covered with other seismographs here. So we kind of narrowed it down just to give you an idea of what's been going on here the past couple hours or so. A number of aftershocks, again, close to Ridgecrest. This is the Kern County line. Most of the epicenters have been in San Bernardino County, but those waves of energy carry out to Ridgecrest and obviously out here to Central California for a number of people feeling those aftershocks in the 4 earthquake back on 4th of July here. Within the past hour, one of the strongest magnitudes has been a 3.0 from this system right here, about 5 miles underground. So that's fairly deep, and you feel more of a rolling motion when those earthquakes are that much deep here in California here. Our temperatures here in the valley, well, we made it up to 100 for Fresno today, very briefly, and this marks day 8 of triple-digit heat this summer so far. Not too bad here because last year we had close to 15 days so far here. That 110 in Lemoore, I think there's something wrong with the observation station. I think safe to say you hit a high of 100 similar to Fresno here. Bit of a breeze trying to help us out tonight. There's cool air spilling into the valley from the coast. That's going to keep our temperatures cooler tomorrow. We're talking about mid-90s, and we're in the mid-90s tonight for most of the valley. 97 in Fresno, 96 in Visalia. North Valley running a little bit cooler compared to this time yesterday. That's a good sign that this ridge of high pressure is starting to break down. It was over the Four Corners region. Now it's starting to break up and move off to the south. Good to moderate air quality across the valley for tomorrow. Tonight in the valley, upper 60s for some areas, but most areas in the low 60s. So a cool evening ahead of us, cooler compared to the last few nights, and it will be breezy from time to time. Low to mid-90s tomorrow throughout most of the valley here. 95 in Fresno, 90 for Los Banos. Extended forecast shows low 90s for a few days, fairly cool for July, but that triple-digit heat does come back next weekend. We are in summer. We're in July. It's going to happen here, but not so bad this summer here. And the good news is we're not talking about extreme heat. We're staying below 105 here, but overall, things a bit cooler tomorrow, much more so Monday into Tuesday.
Well, you did say it is July, so
and it is summer. It's supposed to be hot.
We need to brace ourselves.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of the heat, a hot topic,
Yes.
a big trade.
Huge.
Yes.
The one free agent we were all waiting to decide it would shift the NBA landscape, it finally happened. And we'll tell you about it after the break. After the wildest week of NBA free agency, Kawhi Leonard on the move, but he insists on playing with Paul George. We'll tell you how the former Bulldog ended up in L.A., and what's next for the George-Leonard pairing.
Action News Sports is brought to you by JR Sports.
Well, late last night, a seismic shift in the NBA. Kawhi Leonard, the top free agent and reigning Finals MVP, decided he was going to Los Angeles. But instead of teaming up with LeBron on the Lakers, Kawhi picked the Clippers. The man, nicknamed the Claw, held all the cards this offseason and had one request before signing. Bring me Paul George. The former Bulldog reportedly traded from the Thunder to the Clippers with an unprecedented haul heading to OKC in exchange for the services of PG-13. The Thunder get 5 first-round draft picks from the Clippers, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Danilo Gallinari. Leonard, who is set to sign for a max 4-year deal, reportedly recruited George to join him, but George still had years left on his contract with the Thunder, so he had to request a trade. Get this, according to Caesars Sportsbook in Vegas, the Clippers and Lakers now have the best odds to win the NBA Finals. Those Lakers, after missing out on the Leonard sweepstakes, wasting no time building around AD and LeBron. ESPN reporting that former Warrior DeMarcus Cousins has agreed to a 1-year deal to join in LA. The four-time All-Star will be joined by a couple of NBA champs. Former Raptors guard Danny Green also heading to La La Land along with Quinn Cook, who played the last 2 years with the Warriors. Bryson DeChambeau came into moving day after the biggest move of his career. Yesterday, the Clovis East grad fired a 62, his career low on tour, to jump into first place. He kept that momentum into today at the first. DeChambeau rolling in this birdie putt that moves him to 15 under par. But he did not have quite the same day as yesterday. 11 straight pars before this one on 13. Bryson gets stuck in the rough, his first bogey of the tournament. But then on 18, he'd get one back. Birdie brings him to 15 under par. He enters Sunday in a tie for first place with 2 rookies. Bryson in search of his 6th win on tour. Well, Coco Gauff has taken over all the talk at Wimbledon. Today she was knocked out in her doubles match, but the 15-year-old plays in the round of 16 Monday at 7 o'clock. where Fresno's Sloane Stevens was trying to get to today. Sloane going against Britain's Joanna Konta. Konta has won this matchup. The last 3 times the pair have met. Fresno native won the first set 6-3, but Konta playing in front of the home support there in England. She wins the second set 6-4 to set up a deciding third set. Konta in total control here. Check out the return, the placement. She would win at 6-1 to move on to the round of 16. So that's it for Sloane. But how about Coco?
Coco, we're obsessed with her.
We are. And there's still a chance because Serena Williams won today. She knocked off Venus Williams, one of her idols. She could still face Serena later in the tournament.
I think Coco has charmed the world.
She's become a star for sure.
Thanks, Stephen. Well, we're still tracking hundreds of aftershocks at this hour. Ruben will have more coming up next. Take a look at some of the damage in Kern County from this bird's eye view. This is drone footage from Highway 178 in Ridgecrest, where you can see several cracks and even it appears to be sinkholes may have formed. It appears drivers, though, are still able to use the roadway. No word yet on how long it will take to make those repairs. But Ruben's also been tracking hundreds of aftershocks across the county with our earthquake tracker, and he has the latest on those shakers people are experiencing across the Southland continuing tonight. Ruben.
Yeah, it just really has not calmed down. The good news is we have not seen another 7.0 earthquake, but there is a slim chance of that happening over the next several days here. What you see here in Earthquake Tracker, the yellow represents quakes in the past 12 hours. The red are in the past hour. We could actually go back 10 days here, but if I did that on our computer, this map would just be covered. You wouldn't actually see any of the geography on it. Most of the aftershocks have been to about the northeast of Ridgecrest in San Bernardino County, but those waves carry into Ridgecrest. One of the strongest aftershocks I've found in the past hour or so has been a 3.0, and of course that's still significant. There's still ways to go. This is going to be a trend here at least for a couple days here with those aftershocks.
Yeah, and we'll continue to watch it as well. Thanks for joining us for Action News Live at 6. Remember, we are your source for earthquake coverage, and you can download our ABC 30 mobile app.